Hey, seventh graders. So I got a fun little activity for you guys today. Obviously, if you are watching this, you are playing from home. So that would be my DLI kiddos and then any of my A or B kiddos who were absent Tuesday or Thursday, okay? So it's called the Zebra Migration Game, and your guys' learning targets for this. So as you guys play, I want you to kind of look for these two answers. I can identify the two ways a population can increase, and I can identify the two ways a population can decrease, okay? So you guys kind of over the last week have already been talking about one of those ways that populations can increase and one of those ways that populations can decrease. So really pay attention to what that second reason for an increase or decrease might be. All right, so let's move on to our rules page. So each player takes a turn rolling the two die. Obviously, if you guys are out playing at home, you don't necessarily have someone sitting in class playing with you, so you guys have a couple options. You guys can play with a family member, you can play with a friend, or you guys can play against yourself, okay? You guys can make two teams, and you could have your right hand and your left hand, whatever. I don't care how you guys do it. Or you guys can just do it by yourself and see how easy or how hard it is for your player to advance. So use the key on the next slide to determine your moves. You may only move off the start position when you roll a forward scenario, and I'll talk about what that might be. Move your token accordingly, so your token will be a little zebra piece. And the first player to reach the finish line wins and their zebra population survives. So again, if you're just playing by yourself, you guys can kind of see how hard it is for your population to survive. Okay, here are your guys' little number key. I hope that's not too small for you guys. Remember, you guys can click and drag to kind of make it bigger on your guys' screen. I know those Chromebooks can be kind of small if that's what you're using. All right, if you roll a 2, okay, notice how it says move back 4 spaces. That's not a forward movement. So obviously if you're on the start spot, you can't move back 4 spaces, okay? So the only way you guys can move off the start is if you look at something like, if you roll a 4, you have a successful breeding year, your zebra population increases, move forward 2 spaces. Okay, so I'll let you guys kind of read through some of these here. Hopefully you guys are lucky and you roll all the forward advancing type things. Next slide is your game board. So here's the start, here's the finish. You guys have quite the game board to get through. So it might be hard for some of you guys. Some of you guys might just have bad luck. Okay, in the instance that you guys have bad luck and maybe you guys have been playing for like 15, 20 minutes, it might be time for you to just give up and say that this zebra population's never going to make it. So don't play for more than 15, 20 minutes. Here's your guys' dice. So if you guys right-click that, you can open your link. And you guys will need to add a second dice because we're using 2 for this. So click on the 6 and you guys will see now you have 2 dice. You can hit roll. You can see what your first thing is, and then you can roll up and say, all right, I rolled a 6. You have a very wet monsoon season. Your water hole is full and the grass is plenty. Your population increases. Move forward 3 spaces. So you guys can pick what little token you are, and you can say 1, 2, 3, and you guys can move your token forward accordingly. Again, I encourage you guys to play with a family member, play with a friend, however you guys have contact with another human being. It's good for you guys to have that social interaction, okay? And then finally, once you guys have played for about 15, 20 minutes or someone has won the game, you guys can go on and answer this question. So again, your answers really are kind of in here, okay? We've already talked about the 2 main ways, the one main way that you guys can increase a population and decrease a population. So what's the other? And as you guys kind of read through these, think of a trend. How can I classify some of these? If I were to kind of group them together and say, all right, these increase my population, how could you guys kind of categorize them? Okay, think about everything we learned last week. And then now add in what's new this week that is, kind of outside of what we focused on. Think of when we did the dice game on Friday or when you guys did the little yellow token activity. What were the 2 things that increased or decreased, okay? Now how can we add to that? Okay, some of these would definitely move into what we learned last week. Some of these are going to be kind of new concepts, okay? All right, so once you guys have played, answer these 2 questions on slide 5. What are the 2 ways? There's only 2, so think about that. What are the 2 ways a population size can increase, and what are the 2 ways a population size can decrease? Okay, and then finally, you guys can go ahead and turn it in. I hope you guys had a flourishing zebra population. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.